Disney has finally announced what's going on at their parks in 2025, specifically Walt Disney World. We've been waiting with bated breath to find out just how long it's going to be before Disney closes down one of their most thrilling attractions over there at Disney's Animal Kingdom. We're talking about Dinosaur and the Countdown to Extinction ride, one of the more controversial staples of Walt Disney World and Animal Kingdom. Well, it seems like that extinction has been delayed. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is dinosaur expert, Mr. VashSky. Vash, how tall are velociraptors?
Well, yeah, they're much taller depicted in like Jurassic Park or Jurassic World, for example, than they were actually.
Yeah, that's I'm really glad you know that, because that was really where I was trying to get you. They're turkey-sized. I've heard from other sources. Now, I have heard that the Utah raptor, pretty tall, but the velociraptor, more turkey-sized. So intelligent turkey raptors, well, that's a different story altogether. Let's talk about those turkeys over there at the Walt Disney Company. However, this is from Disney Parks blog, and Vash, I am sure you have got something bigger to throw in here. But new details about what's coming to Walt Disney World in 2025. We're not going to read all of this by the public relations senior specialist, that Miss Katie Gower over there. There is a villains show coming in called Unfairly Ever After. Sounds like a little bit of communism to me there. Little Mermaid, a new bar. They're going to be reopening Test Track, a parade. I'm just looking. Oh, here's one. Zootopia Better Zootgether. You better get your act together there. Let's see. It's going. Recurring fun, which is a rehash of everything that's already been there. Where is it? Control F, Dinos. There it is. Last chance for Dinosaur. While you're visiting, make sure you go get that dino at Dinosaur. We've previously shared this attraction will be closing to make way for the new Tropical America's Land. 2025 is your year to visit before it goes extinct. So, Disney, on their What's New in 2025 list, is actually admitting that the ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard ride will be shutting down not in 2025, as was previously assumed here. Ash, why is this ride getting shut down? Just take people through a brief history.
Yes. Well, that ride is being shut down because it's part of a larger project that's going to be occurring in Disney's Animal Kingdom, I guess, very soon or shortly. Talking about how the Dinoland USA area will be rethemed, transformed, reimagined, whatever we want to use, into a Tropical Americas theme for that segment. So we have Asia represented, we have Africa, now we'll have Central and South America, I think is where they're going for that one. And we've covered this extensively on That Park Place, talking about how, I guess, initially the budget for this, wasn't very robust. And I guess a note from Josh D'Amaro telling the Imagineers was put forward saying, these facades and so forth, they can't look like they're just repainted. They have to look a little bit more substantially transformed, which was funny because then Jim Shull actually came out, famous Imagineer, worked for the company a long time, came out on Twitter saying, calling it the Topical Americas.
Yeah, which I think is an apt way to put it, because the three rides that are going in here are the IP carousel, in which I'm going to, it actually sounds nice, and Disney does need to do more, we'll call it a C-ticket attraction. I don't know what level Disney imagines this thing to be, but it's a carousel there, and it has they've hired a wood carver who loves Disney to do wood carvings of different animals from different Disney IPs, and they're modeling all of the ride vehicles off of that. And that's the exact kind of thing that Disney needs to be doing more of. Not one e-ticket attraction every few quarters that is going to be on virtual queue and all that. They actually need more smaller rides in order to eat people. No, not to eat people, not like another Jurassic Park reference here and Dinosaur, but to be people eaters, to get people off of the main thoroughfares there and to put them into gift shops, which I don't think the IP carousel is going to put them into gift shops, but to each his own. The Encanto ride, we're hearing a little bit about that one, and it was thought to be more like Mystic Manor. Sounds like it might be an Omnimover. We've heard the word clamshell used in the case of Omnimover. I think it's just Omnimover, not necessarily a clamshell ride, but probably not in the Mystic Manor flat ride, truly flat ride where you're riding on flat concrete in your vehicle. I think it's going to be an Omnimover. And then, of course, Dinosaur is being replaced by an Indiana Jones ride, which they hinted at that for a while, and they really felt like people were going to be excited about Indiana Jones coming to the parks. One of the first things that we covered after that park place became a YouTube channel was the Indiana Jones theme music being played when they talked about what was coming to Animal Kingdom. They really wanted to get you excited, and mostly it was met with shrugs. Like, okay, I guess this is what they're doing.
Yeah, and it's so weird because Dinosaur and Indiana Jones Adventure out there in Anaheim, and also too Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull out there in Japan, share the same layout roughly. There are some differences between them, obviously, but a conversion into Indiana Jones has long been speculated and theorized by many of people, not just Imagineers, but also to just your run-of-the-mill person who kind of knows that they share a lot of the same attributes. So it's not horribly surprising that they're going to do this, but the timeline is a little bit surprising because a lot of people thought that, hey, this all was shovel ready, let's say, that they would get working on all of this post haste, because obviously you have, well, one of the biggest theme parks to open ever next year in the form of Epic Universe coming online May of 2025. So a lot of people were theorizing, okay, well, they're going to want their expansions or transformations, reimaginings, whatever you want to call it, in the pipeline as quickly as possible in order to get these things out the door and have them eating people, let's say, as quickly as possible. Well, now we're learning that, well, Dinosaur, the big E ticket of this new Tropical Americas section of this theme park right now, well, that's not going to take place at least until 2026, which has people concerned about how long this whole project is actually going to take. And really, a lot of people are questioning just how long a lot of these things that the company has touted these last couple of months are going to take.
Right. As we've covered on this channel, and we've got videos for it, they have recently extended the deadline for the Disney company to submit information to the South Florida Water Management District, otherwise known as SWIFMUD, for the Rivers of America destruction and Frontierland expansion, if you want to rephrase it as to that, which I'm sure Disney would prefer to call it the Cars land or the Villains land, which they, again, we always mention the fact that they said that dirt was moving on the Villains land, but they haven't filed all the permits there. There seems to be a lot going on in that area right now, but they can't touch the Rivers of America until they've resolved whatever it is with the state of Florida here. SIFTOD working on their behalf. But we called it and said that Tropical Americas was going to happen first. And if this is the central attraction in the Tropical Americas land, Dinosaur is. So if this isn't moving for a year, maybe what they're doing is they're getting everything set up so it is minimized how much they're going to have to take this down for. Of course, this is something where we don't know how much they're changing the actual ride path here, whether or not this is going to be a reskin. I think specifically because Dinosaur, it's not a move for move. It's not an exact Indiana Jones copy over there, but it is based off of the same ride vehicle and the same general layout as the Indiana Jones ride out there at Disneyland, which Vash, I understand that's one of your favorites out there.
Absolutely.
We'll have to ride it together if I can ever get out there to the West Coast. Somebody got on me because I hadn't been to Disneyland, because I've never been to the parks before. They said that you had never been to Disneyland as well, Vash. I thought that was an interesting rumor. Like, no, I couldn't tell you how many times I have been to all the parks at Walt Disney World.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been to Walt Disney World that many times, but Disneyland, oh man, I can't even count the number of times I've been there. In fact, I got some B-roll playing right now over the top of this video from my experiences just the last couple of days of being over there at Disneyland. So I have a lot of experience with being in these parks. I understand. Yeah. I can my repertoire with Walt Disney World could probably grow, and yours for Disneyland as well. Of course. And we'll go ahead and we'll overcome those issues.
I need to go out to there and see that miniature castle that they've got at Disneyland. Now that being said,
Levy.
I want to finish up talking about Dinosaur here, because this is an attraction, and you know the history here with this ride. This ride was I think it was originally called Countdown to Extinction, and then they changed it to Dinosaur Countdown to Extinction because of Michael Eisner's IP reasons. He probably wouldn't have called them IP reasons, but Dinosaur, one of the most forgotten Disney movies out there, was coming out at about the same time, so they added Alidor to this. I don't think the name Alidor is said anywhere in this ride, but that dinosaur does appear in the ride. But the real scene stealer is the Carnotaurus. What they really ought to do is find some reason for Indiana Jones to be interacting with dinosaurs, and I don't care how you do it, but that would be amazing. This is a ride that has actually been a pretty good case for Disney just building a ride and then figuring out the story reasons for it later. With Indiana Jones, it feels like it's another IP excuse to put something in the parks. The Disneyland version is great. I actually hear the Crystal Skull version of the ride out there in Japan pretty good too. I don't have a lot of faith in current Imagineering and the budgets that they give them right now. Yeah. Vash, I'm going to let you wrap this up.
Well, no, that's the thing about this, and it's really unfortunate when you talk about the story of Animal Kingdom itself, because it had suffered from budget cuts as well. Interesting, because they were going to have the Beastly Kingdom, and Dinosaur USA was supposed to have a coaster, a wooden coaster associated with it. They settled on the the enhanced motion vehicle ride system that was implemented for Indiana Jones back in 1995 for Animal Kingdom, because I believe Joe Rohde felt that they really needed a solid e-ticket for this entire park. And unfortunately, it just never had the financial backing from the company in order to support this endeavor. And it looks like that might be happening again. I mean, think about it, Jonas. We've had one reimagining in the form of Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and that was on an accelerated timeline, right? And the company was probably looking to minimize their investment as much as possible. And now look at the results of that. When you think of something like this happening to Dinosaur, one has to think, oh my goodness gracious, is history repeating itself again with this? It's just really, it really is quite unfortunate to see the company as ambitious as they are, because I do think the parks are suffering because of that. A lot of people actually like this attraction. They like the fact that Disney did dinosaurs for so long, and now we're seeing those minimize. First, what is it, in Universe of Energy over there at Epcot, and now this. It's a really sad day for those dino lovers out there.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, this was a product of a collaboration between McDonald's and the Walt Disney Company, and now both of those corporations are too cool to do kiddie stuff. So, maybe call McDonald's. Try and get in there and make something that appeals to maybe not little kids, because Dinosaur, it says kids on this one. It's a little scary for kids. It was part of the intention to make it thrilling for little kids. But I think it would be great if Disney got back to that idea that they need to be serving that childhood magic here and not necessarily an IP. Maybe, hey, put some beef tallow in those French fries and put them back in the park while you're at it. How about that?
The McCafe ride. Come on.
That's the problem. They want to be cool. They want to serve their Starbucks instead of the things that children actually like here at the parks. I like Joffrey's more than McCafe's myself. But that being said, we want to throw this to our commenters. What do you think about this situation? Are you going to be riding Dinosaur before it gets shut down? I don't know. Is Animal Kingdom and Dinosaur still popular with the kids these days? Maybe that's why Disney's getting rid of it. You let us know in those comments down below. Of course, like this video if you like this video. And if you haven't, you could consider subscribing to That Park Plays for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.